surrender, if I've learned anything in this spiritual journey, it's just surrender. And it's it's going within and looking at where am I trying to control things and where am I trying to force things right now? Because forward movement, it comes from alignment. It doesn't come from force, right? And so it's like, where am I in alignment or out of alignment? Like, have I been eating really well? And have I been getting exercise? Am I keeping the energy around me flowing? Do I need to declutter my house or clean my house today just so that the energy around me is calm and smooth? And then I can think clearly and be focused. Or, the thing is with attachment too, what am I really attached to right now? Like, do I really, really, really need a job and I'm keeping it away because I'm so much in lack that it's, you know what I mean? Like, it creates a resistance energy in your field. Or like, whatever it is you feel you really, really need, you need to just find a different way to give that energy to yourself so it can flow in the right aligned way for you.
Sweet. All right. Hi, guys. Hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot. And right here we have the lovely Zia from the Violet Crow Tarot. Hi, Zia. And she's an herbalist, a tarot reader, and an energy healer and worker. And she has a channel by the name of the Violet Crow Tarot on Instagram as well as on YouTube. And she's doing fantastic work, which is why I brought her on today to let her talk a little bit about her spiritual path, her healing journey, tarot, how she's gotten into the healing arts. And yeah, we're very excited to have you, Zia. Hi.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. It was sweet of you to ask.
My pleasure, my absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
How cool. No, it's really, really great to have you on. Do you want to talk a little bit where we can find you? I'm going to attach all the links down below and what you do.
Sure. So every day I put out a free tarot reading, like a daily tarot on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, I'm at Violet Crow Healing, and on Facebook, it's the Violet Crow. My website, if you want to learn more about me or what I offer, is thevioletcrow.com. And I also do weekly tarot readings on YouTube, and that's the Violet Crow as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to attach all the links down below in the comment section so people can actually find you. And
Thank you.
yeah, how cool, how cool. So shall we just drop into it? What I'm really
Yeah.
curious about is how did you come up with your name, the Violet Crow? Like there must be some kind of a story, right?
Well, yeah. So when I was very first on my spiritual journey, the first animal that I really connected with, that I consider the first animal on my shamanic totem, is the crow. I started noticing that whenever I started seeing a lot of crows, my life was about to change drastically. And I just was really observing them. And I really, honestly, I don't know how I put two and two together. I just started to realize that. And so then I really started researching them more and connecting with them. And I read the books by, and now my mind is going to go blank, but there's, it's the 11 book series, and it's about a shamanic worker in Arizona, I believe. Oh, why can I not think of the name? Anyway, it's an amazing series, but he highlights the crow as well. And so I started just investigating and learning more about shamanism through connecting with the crow. And then my energy, my essence, the color that I see is violet. It's a violet purple color. I've always been very attracted to purple my whole life. And I've embodied the violet flame. And so I just kind of intertwine the two of them to create my name.
What a cool story. That's so interesting with the color, how you see yourself. Is that the auric field, the energetic field that you're seeing
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. And I feel like we all have a color or a medicine that's our energy, that when we're doing energy work on others, that's the energy that gets sent out to them. And I see that color as like a violet.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And it's so cool that you should mention, like, I've always known like blue and yellow, those were my colors, and I don't know why, like ever since a long time. But it's interesting to hear that we kind of use that energy when we're doing the healing work on others. So that immediately leads me to my next question. When did you discover that you had healing abilities? How did you come into your, how shall we call them, like powers, or what would you say
Yeah.
yourself?
Well, around 2006, so I'd already been on my spiritual journey for about 6 years. I started in 2000, and some friends of mine decided they were going to go to a Reiki 1 attunement, and did I want to go? And I looked into it, and yeah, absolutely, I did. I mean, I'd kind of been considering it for a while. So I went and did my Reiki 1. My whole life got turned upside down. And then right after, like about 6 months later, I think is when I did my Reiki 2. And then I just kept going because it felt like once I received that energy and started working on myself, I was like, this is magic. Like, this is magic in the world, like it was really incredible. I first started in Reiki 1, you can work on yourself and plants and animals, at least according to my teacher. And I used to work on my plant. And when I was, the energy was coming out, I saw the leaves moving. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then my dog, who is the love, yes, exactly. The dog, Tia, who is the love of my life. I mean, absolute love of my life. She ended up getting, she was a pit bull, and pit bulls sometimes get growths on their front legs. And she had a growth the size of a tennis ball, not tennis ball, golf ball, size of a golf ball. And so I took her to the vet and I got her the Panalog cream, and like I was using it on her for weeks and nothing happened. And because I was still at the beginning of my journey and very still, I don't know if skeptical is the word, but like just not sure of what Reiki could do or energy healing could do, I thought, well, let's give this energy healing a try. And so I did one little session on it, and within 3 days, it had shrunk and disappeared entirely.
No way.
And I was like, whoa.
Wow. That's incredible.
So I was like, there's something to this. And I just kept going on my journey, and just kept working on other people, working on myself, and just figuring out, what is this? How does this work? How do we use this really?
Totally. And did they also show you, and they probably did, how to not take on the energies of the person or of the thing that you're healing, such as in terms of Tia with the
Yeah, with the growth.
Yeah,
It
growth.
was
Yeah.
a growth. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a cancerous growth or anything. It was just like a skin growth. But I mean, I feel like my education and my knowledge early on in all of that was very basic. I mean, it was just like a weekend, a 1 day workshop, 8 hours in and out. And like, hopefully everything's in the book that you need. There was like there wasn't really any follow-up, and so I was kind of figuring it out as I went along for a long time. I didn't really learn about grounding and anchoring, and like you said, not taking on other people's karma for a long, long time. But along with that also, though, I feel like some people overcomplicate it as well. If you can very simply and truly hold the intention that you're not going to do that and take that on, because I know healers that do it consciously, which is a disservice to the people that they're working with. Like, I had a friend that was a massage therapist, and when he was working on people, he would be taking the energy from them to try to help and assist them.
Wow.
And instead, he was taking all that on. And then his dog, who is also his spirit helper, was taking it from him so that he didn't get sick. And the dog ended up getting cancer and getting all kinds of growths all over the body, and ended up dying younger than he had to. So it is important. Your intention and your alignment is really important. And also, there's different methods that I teach people on how to ground your energy, how to anchor into the earth, how to be a channel. And those things are important as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I believe too that you need to be aware of that you actually do have the power to say, no, I'm not taking this on.
Yes,
Because, yeah,
exactly.
because I have a story like that as well with my cat, where I tried to heal my cat and ended up with that thing that she had. I ended up with it. And I'm just like, what the
Yes,
fuck? So
yes,
but that was way before I had any spiritual experiences or anything. I just kind of, I thought I'd give it a shot because I kind of had the feeling that I could do it, and so I just did.
mhm.
But interesting, very
Yeah.
interesting. Why make it complicated when it can be easy?
That's what I mean, in all the things that I teach, like I just got done teaching an angel healing course, how to connect with your angels. And the
Mhm.
number one thing I teach people is don't overcomplicate it. I mean, you can talk to them through your heart at
Right.
any time. You don't have to light candles. You don't need to make it a complex ritual. You can if you want, and it might be more powerful if you want, but I talk to my guides and angels all day long through my heart space.
Mm.
So, yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Doesn't. I think it's also probably a personal thing, whether people want to, like you said, want to create something that feels more powerful.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I believe, because it's nice, to work with crystals or something like that, it's always really nice. But in my own experience too, you don't want to give your power away to think so much. They can be really helpful tools, such as rituals, but always
Yeah.
know that the power is really within you. And
Yes.
that is, I think, a really good message to pass on to people. Like it's not the stone that makes you powerful, it's you that like
Yes.
gives that stone the intention.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you 100%.
All right. Cool. Good. Let's keep going then. All right. So how did you get on your spiritual path? Did you have like one specific event where you were just like, whoa, or what happened? Tell us, please.
Well, yes, there was like, I'd say like a specific moment, but I feel like my whole life was leading up to that moment at the same time as well. I grew up in a Catholic church. My mother's very Catholic. I mean, believes in heaven and hell and all of that. And I would go to, on Sunday she'd go to church and I'd go into the kids area and different things. And I rejected the church at age 9. At age 9, I was like, none of this makes any sense to me. I don't believe this. I don't even know why I don't believe this, but it just doesn't resonate in my body and things. And so I'm lucky that my mom really encouraged reading, and I started looking into Taoism and Buddhism and some of the Eastern religions, and like, yes, this makes way more sense to me.
Right, right.
So leading up to that, I had kind of had a little bit of background, not much. And when I was 16, my mom had also bought me some tarot cards. So, she was open in the way that I could experiment with philosophy and religion and spirituality and esotericism and all of that. But really, I'd say the turning point for me, I hope you guys can still hear over that airplane going
Oh yeah,
over.
yeah.
Okay, good. I'm in the LAX flight path. So sometimes there's
Okay.
so when I was 20, I was in college and life was really difficult, I'd say. I just was emotionally suffering, like so bad. But I grew up with the child of a narcissist. And so there was a lot of emotional abuse and a lot of mental and emotional abuse. And I just was miserable. And so I ended up suicidal in a mental institution, just wanting to die because I just didn't know how to make the pain stop. And so while I was in the hospital, I had a real like come to God moment where I was sitting there and I said, God, I tried all the ways to make things better, to feel better, to live. Like I don't know how to do it. And and I'm giving it up to you. I surrender to you. Show me where to go, show me what to do, send the right people into my life. Whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it because whatever I've been doing hasn't been working. And that night, I was laying in bed and I woke up in the middle of the night kind of suddenly, and I looked at the foot of my bed and there was Jesus and a cherub angel. And like I literally saw him with my eyes, not in my mind's eye, like a lot of intuitive gifts are, but I literally saw him at the foot of my bed. And I knew in that moment that my prayer had been received and accepted, and that like I was going to be okay.
Mhm.
And that is the beginning of my spiritual journey and my spiritual path. And after that, I things were not easy right away. It took me a long time of reading different books and going to different workshops and meeting new friends and, exploring the world in a different way.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the journey for me.
Oh, wow, what a story. That's quite amazing. When you saw him or them, however you want to refer to Jesus, right?
Mhm.
um, were you afraid at all, or were there
No.
doubts? Nothing, right? Yeah.
No, I was in awe.
Yeah.
Like it was weird because I instantly knew who it was. Like oh my God, that's Jesus.
Mhm.
And and I just felt comforted. I didn't feel scared at all. And I've had a few visitations throughout the course of my life, and I've never been scared. I've been whoa, like whoa, that's Metatron, that's Jesus, that, whoever it is, like, whoa, hi, kind of like that.
Yeah, full on. Yeah, totally. That's also my own experience with the entities,
Yes.
because and they manifest in different ways to different people, from what I've heard. And sometimes they're quite in human form, and others experience them as more of light beings or energies, or however they
Yeah.
interpret them and see them. Because it's a matter, what I believe, it's a matter how you're wired. And I would love to hear like your take on it, because we all see them differently, or maybe we have seen an image of them before, and that kind of comes up in that very moment when we have those experiences. What do you say
Yeah.
about it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the entities, the spirits, ascended masters, whoever they are, they present themselves in a way that you will receive and know who they are. So yeah, if you see them as a blue light, they send the energy of like, I'm Archangel Michael, and this, because that's how you might recognize them. That's
Yeah.
why some people see angels and they've got wings, and some people just see them as human form, or some people just see them as bright light. It's not that they are even any of those forms, it's just that's how you'll know who they
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
right? So if you were raised in the Catholic Church and you've seen all the Renaissance paintings, you see the wings. But
Mhm.
if you were raised in another part of the world, that recognizes them differently, or a different religion, then they're going to show up a different way for you.
Yeah. Isn't that
Yeah.
so interesting? Hey, it's kind of like the same with channeling, I feel too, right? How we each use our own expression and our life experience to bring through different stuff. It's all kind of like in the same realm, but it's still a little bit different, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because we all have our own filters, right? Of what we've been through and what our medicine is, like what our karma was and what our dharma is now. And so it is going to come through with a different frequency, because we're all different frequencies. And whoever is on that frequency is going to resonate with you in your message, because you have the medicine to provide what they need.
Sweet. Yes. Woohoo. Totally. Speaking of medicine, because you're a herbalist too, and
Mhm.
that is quite interesting, because as we've spoken before, and it kind of fits into your last sentence where you mentioned, having your own medicine, and you said something to me that I loved, how about the longitude, why it sometimes takes a bit longer when you use herbs. Maybe you
Yeah.
can like elaborate on that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was even thinking about that in the shower this morning, because I've really been working with flower essences a lot more recently.
Mhm.
And Western medicine, pharmaceutical medicine, Western society is really so focused on immediate results. And we think if there's not a shift immediately, then it's not working. But Eastern medicine, thinks about it a little bit different. They see the whole body, not just the physical body, but the emotional body, the mental, the thoughts that we're thinking, and how that affects your nervous system and your responses. So they think about everything. And the idea is that as we go through life and we experience things, you don't go from level 0 anxiety to 100 anxiety in one day. That accumulates over time, or
Right.
trauma can accumulate over time. So you've built up, like if you think about it as a whole, and you're like, okay, there's some anxiety I'm stuffing, there's some sadness I'm stuffing, there's some more anxiety, and you're filling and filling and filling the hole.
Right.
Well, with holistic medicine, you're taking a little bit out at a time as well. And it's not just treating the symptom, it's treating the whole body. So as it's coming out, your thoughts start to shift a little bit better, and you start to think a little bit more clearly, um, or see situations differently. And you may not start reacting the same way you used to. And so a little bit at a time, you're shifting and changing. So the difference, I think, also is with Western medicine, it doesn't have all of the like whole chemicals of the plant, all the chemical constituents together. And so you're actually creating more disease in the
Mhm.
body, not less. And so it's like, do you want to truly be healed? Give it a little more time rather than making the situation worse with pharmaceuticals.
Mhm. Sometimes, and I 100% agree. And the more I've come into the spiritual path and this my own spiritual
Mhm.
healing journey, I can hardly take any like regular pharmaceuticals anymore. Like
Yes.
nothing, not even headache
Yeah.
stuff. It just
Yeah.
like my body will react differently to them, and it's much better for me to use homeopathy, globuli, or globules, I think
Yes.
they're called, or other herbs. And
Yeah.
yeah, I really found that. But of course, everybody's a bit different and works differently. But I definitely agree with you that sometimes it just takes time to heal these things if you really want them to heal. And that's also like a huge message for anyone listening out there struggling right now with their personal healing journey, because
Mhm.
these things just take time, much like Sia just showed us so nicely with the cup. You pour stuff and it doesn't happen like one day and then it's filled. So allow for that time to really, allow for yourself that time to really heal, to get all of that out, and then fill it with different stuff, right? Fill it with stuff that actually
Yes.
suits you right now. And yeah, woohoo. That's it.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me of a camping trip I took once too. Like I had been working a really stressful job, and I had had a really difficult year, and I like got into work one day and I sat down and I was like, I literally can't. Like, I can't even force myself to work today. And
Wow.
it was at the point, like, I felt like I had to force myself. So I called my boss and said, you know what? I really need a vacation. I just need to go camping and get away. And
Right.
over the course of the weekend, I felt that like knot slowly start to unravel. It was like the first night I was there, I journaled 12 pages. And it's like, okay, there's getting some of the emotional and mental processing out of the way. And then I napped a lot and like let, stress release, and
Mhm.
over the course of the weekend, unravel, 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 unravel. And then by the end of the weekend, I felt fresh and new again. And it's that way with the healing journey. It doesn't like it just doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm. For sure, for sure. And Zia's actually the one that reached out to me when I wasn't feeling so great and kind of alone, and offered her help for free, which is also one of the reasons why I really wanted her on the channel and promote her stuff, because I thought that was absolutely incredible. And thank you again for that. And you were the one like suggesting that and telling me that story. And I was just like, that was gold. If I like hadn't spoken
Mhm.
to you at that specific moment, I don't know if I'd really taken off 2 weeks. And yeah,
Oh.
thank you for that. Really, yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, it is so funny. Like, I just noticed, even with all of my friends that are all spiritual healers as well, how hard it is for us to rest. Like, I feel like all of 2020 was me unraveling that because I didn't have like a 9 to 5 office job anymore and
Right.
fighting the compulsion to like, I gotta work, I gotta work, I gotta make money. And like learning, like, you know what, today I'm tired. Like, today I'm just gonna take a rest day and read a book. Or, like checking in with my body in the morning. I think the screen might have frozen. Oh, there you are. Or
Oh,
checking in with my body in the morning. Like, yesterday, what I wanted to do first was do my daily tarot reading, but today I feel like meditating. And then I feel like taking a walk. And then I feel like making breakfast. And every day having my routine just go by, what does my body want?
I
What
love
do I
that.
need? What do I need in this moment? And
Mm.
and listening to that, because our society teaches us so differently. It's like, get up at 7, take a shower, get to work for 4 hours, take a lunch, and it's so regimented. And it's
Mm.
such a masculine energy way of being. And so learning to embrace the feminine energy of, what is my body telling me? What do I need in this moment? How do I support myself and care for myself? Yeah, so I don't know how that I got started on that tangent,
No,
but yeah.
perfect, perfect. I really wanted it to go there. Like, let's just go with whatever comes. And that is the feminine energy, right? You'd never know,
Yes.
it's unpredictable too. But it always ends up where it really wants to end up, and for the highest good. And that's the coolest thing about it. It may feel kind of chaotic at times, and also right now for a lot of people with those energies right now, chaotic, but also, when you, like you said, when you go into that flow state and just allow for certain things to happen, it'll
Mhm.
take you there. Just the resistance is what makes it hard, and what gets us kind of stuck. If we're just like, no, I'm not letting go, or I'm not doing
Yeah.
this or that, that's what makes it really like tough. Do you have any suggestions on that, on how to let go and ease into the flow a bit more?
Yeah, man, surrender. If I've learned anything in this spiritual journey, it's just surrender. And it's it's going within and looking at, where am I trying to control things and where am I trying to force things right now? Because forward movement, it comes from alignment. It doesn't come from force, right? And so it's like, where am I in alignment or out of alignment? Like, have I been eating really well? And have I been getting exercise? Am I keeping that energy around me flowing? Do I need to declutter my house or clean my house today, just so that the energy around me is calm and smooth? And then I can think clearly and be focused. Or, um, the thing is with attachment too, what am I really attached to right now? Like, do I really, really, really need a job and I'm keeping it away because I'm so much in lack that it's, you know what I mean? Like, it creates a
Totally.
resistance energy in your field. Or like, whatever it is you feel you really, really need, you need to just find a different way to give that energy to yourself so it can flow in the right aligned way for you.
Right. Absolutely. Much like, and
Yeah.
I'm going to give a basic example, and you tell me if that's what you meant.
Yeah.
um, when you really, really, really want a relationship, right? And really, really, really want that
Yes.
person that loves you so much, and that there's that resistance already because you're sending out, I don't have it, I don't have it. Whereas take that step back and give that to yourself in that moment in some shape or form. And much
Yes.
the same with abundance. Once you find that in yourself, it'll show up on the outside. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's because when you're in that, like, I need someone else to fill me, it's kind of like this neediness. And you, like, maybe are over attached. Like, you go on one date and then all of a sudden you're planning your wedding. Other
Mhm.
people feel that like neediness energy, and it doesn't feel good because we all want to be filled. We don't all want to have to give
Mhm.
necessarily. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, so then the energies are just going to be off. But if what you really need in that moment is to feel loved, it's like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to go spend the day with my friends that I
Mhm.
know love me and like go do something fun, go out dancing, maybe go to a theme park, go have a picnic or a barbecue. And when
Yeah,
you fill yourself up with love, then you won't be as needy and like pushing people away.
that's true too. And plus, you're attracting something that you don't actually want when you are in
Yes.
that type of an energy. It may feel like that in the beginning, and euphoria, almost like, oh, they're there. And then you're doing a whole lot of projecting, and the other person most likely as well, because you meet each other where you are. But that's a tricky one. That's a whole different conversation, I feel.
It is. It is. It's so funny too, because the more sensitive I get, even in the dating process, like there was someone recently in the last 6 months, and I felt like we were doing energy Olympics, kind of because
Wow.
when I would shift into a certain energy, he would show up and let's go out on a date, let's hang out, da da da. And when I'd shift into another energy, it was like, you know what, I'm busy. I don't think we should hang out, or just go silent, for
Right.
ages and ages. And then I'd shift back into this energy, and I was like, oh my God, we're so feeling each other's fields. And I think that's happening constantly. It's just how sensitive are you that you are able to notice what's happening.
Totally, totally. And that, that is like when you're saying that, I'm just like, poof, my mind goes like that, because that is so true. And that is part of why we are such strong, powerful creators that we really are,
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
constantly happening. Like you're saying, it's just a matter of you'll feel it and you'll tune into it. And then things start to happen and shift. And that lets you know
Yes.
you are creating all the time. You may not like what you see. That doesn't mean you're not creating, unfortunately.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, everything in your life, I mean, I just feel alignment is the most important thing. And as
Mm,
soon as you have that shift, whether it's starting to think a new thought or see a different perspective or start feeling a different way, your energy field resonates out into the world. And you'll notice instantly things start dropping in
full
as
on.
soon as you find that alignment. So if you're not getting what you want, it's really like, okay, what's off in my alignment, and trying to work from that point.
Absolutely. Like I could not agree more. Although it's sometimes hard to do, especially when something is not working. You're like, no, I need to do the external stuff. No,
Yeah.
let's come back. But
A
it's
lot
hard.
of time, it's really just getting into that neutral state. Like I love Abraham Hicks, and she's like, what's the best feeling thought that you can get right now? Or if you're into mindfulness meditation, which I absolutely love, mindfulness releases stress and it releases stuff from your body just by being present with it, which is a lot what I teach in my energy healing work as well. And just neutralizing all of the body, just getting into that quiet space, and your alignment will start flowing again.
Totally, because only in that calmer state is when the healing can occur in any, like if we're talking
Yes.
energetics, if we're talking physically, like when your
Yeah.
nervous system is going haywire, there is no healing that's going to happen
Yeah.
because you're in fight or flight. It's the same with everything else. So you
Yes.
really want to make sure, like you said, to do meditations, to, whatever breath work.
Journaling, yeah, meditation, journaling, art, and creativity, exercise. I mean, all of these things are self-care techniques. They're self-compassion, it's self-love. And those are the things that are going to help bring the levels down so you can be happy and free.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I have definitely one more question I would like to ask you. What is the craziest moment? And you can pick here either on your healing path, your spiritual journey, or when it comes to your channel, like interactions with the
Yeah.
public. What's the craziest thing that has happened?
Man, I was really trying to think about that too. It's hard to pick just one moment too, because there are moments, there's that hashtag, you can't make this shit up. I've just had so many moments like that where you're like talking about something and then something in the 3D world pops up, like a license plate frame, and you're like, there's no way that could have happened. There's no way. And then you're like, okay, are we in a simulation or what is going on? You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
there's so many of those moments that really make me believe in God and make me believe in the spiritual world and make me believe all of that. I mean, that's why, like, if someone says, do you believe? Yes, I'm a believer because I've had enough of those moments that I know it's true. I know
Yeah.
that it's true. But yeah, like seeing Jesus or Metatron but at your bedside. Like I woke up one night too and I saw Metatron dropping his cube into my crown. And that was another one of those moments that I was like, So,
I
I mean, it's really cool.
It's really cool. And I love that you're sharing it because too often, and you're sharing it so openly, and there's a lot to learn from that,
Yeah.
I believe, because a lot of people, myself included sometimes, still feel like a little bit hesitant to share these stories because, or you're like, saying, oh, there's this crazy thing that happened to me, but it's not crazy. There are so many
Yeah.
people out there that this is happening to. And, when you're downloading stuff, seeing patterns, I sometimes wake up at night and I see like swirling patterns and I'm still fully in it. And I'm just like, holy crap, that's
Yes.
so cool. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Or the other terms around like, that's so heavy. Can I please get out of that energy? And I know they're, healing, there's something happening. And I would like for more people to open up that way so that a lot less people have to end up in, hospitals and psychiatry, because that's
Yes.
not what it is at all.
Yeah, it is exactly. See, one of the things that I learned in my journey too, when I was a child, I was painfully shy. I mean, like hide behind your mom's leg, like shy. And as I've gotten older, I've come out of my shell more and more. But I still was hiding in the spiritual closet, I mean, until maybe even a few years ago. And I wouldn't really tell even my best friends that were in my friend circle about what I was learning or what I was receiving or who I really am, because who I am is a spiritual being. And when
Uh-huh.
I started taking some risks and sharing some things, my connections just went like this. Like they were like, okay, we're best friends. But then all of a sudden the bonds started strengthening. And they're like, oh my God, me too. I had this one when I was doing this, I saw the purple lady too, that's in, and so like then there was all these connections that started getting deeper and deeper when I was actually showing people who I really am, because I was in hiding. I was hiding behind a mask of like, I'm normal, and I was like on this deeply spiritual path. And then around 2012, everyone started waking up. And I was like, oh, I'm not alone anymore. This is great. And so, I mean, I think that's the difference. Like, show people who you really are. And the people that think you're weird, like, kind of like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to align with the people that are in my frequency.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
we just had a conversation about this too. Nature and the universe abhors a vacuum. So say release those energies, release those people, and know that they're going to be refilled by people that are actually at your frequency. Don't keep them as placeholders because you feel lack, like you might never meet friends again, or you might never have a boyfriend again, or your dog that you love so much might never come back again. And you're holding on to that so tightly. Again, surrender, release, and trust your alignment. And you
Yeah.
can say no to the universe a lot, and they'll keep sending you better, because what you say no is that's not in alignment with my frequency. I know that I deserve better, and the universe will send it. So yeah, surrender.
I love how you just explained that. That was just like, yeah, love it. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
cool. You also, since you're sharing all your knowledge, you also just recently developed a new course. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would love to. So I'm so pleased and so excited to share the Energy Healing One course that I just created, and it's learning your field. So I created this course because, like I said, I went to like a 1-day workshop. I even actually shopped around. I went to a number of different Reiki One attunements because I was curious, like, how do other people teach it and what else is there to learn? And I learned that it's pretty much kind of all the same. You go and you learn very basic information, and then you're like on your own in the world. And I had to learn just through my own personal, like awakening my own gifts with working on myself and others. I had to learn what I've learned now today. So I've created a course that teaches people, how do you work with your own energy field? Because if you want to be a healer, number one, you need to work on yourself and know your own energy field. That's why a lot of people identify as empaths and say, like, I can't be in crowded places because then I just start absorbing the energies of everyone else. Well, that will stop once you realize what's mine and what's theirs, and then like different techniques to kind of work with your field. Um, so so it's to help people. Like I designed this course to kind of help people with all the information I wish I had. And
Mm-hmm.
it covers like anchoring. How do you anchor into the earth? How do you anchor into the grand central sun? What are different energy flows to start learning the flow of your field, whether it's the toroidal field, your heart field. Um, yeah, so I mean, there's so many different things. I teach you different energy flows. Um, and to be a good healer, I think you always need to be working on yourself and always need to be aware of your own self. And when you learn new things, then you can pass that on to others as well. But if you don't know and can't feel your own energy field, you're not going to be a very effective healer.
Right. So is this course exclusively for healers or for anyone looking to?
No, it's for anyone. Like if you identify as an empath and you want to learn like what is this all about? Like what is my energy field? What are chakras? What are like how do I stop kind of feeling so much anxiety and
Right.
different things like that? Like you can take this course and start learning your own energy body.
Yeah, yeah.
As you connect to your physical body and your emotional body, you start releasing different, mental and emotional and physical problems. And all that it takes is being present and observing.
Mhm. That sounds really lovely. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing we're linking that down below. Where can we find that healing course?
So the healing course is on my website, the Violet Crow, and then you can see the courses on the top of my page. And you can click on that to learn more
Mhm.
about the course. It's all listed. It's an 8-week journey. So
Mhm.
you get a little introduction to who I am, what is the Sui Reiki is what I was attuned to, but I actually identify more as a shamanic energy healer. So I describe the differences between the two, like some of the basic foundations of how they work. And I give you tips like, not taking on other people's things, not overextending yourself. And then you go into the actual journey. And so I give you videos, I give you some graphic illustrations to illustrate the ideas. And then every week you have a week-long practice. I
Right.
give you chakra journals to connect to your chakras. And there's also a Facebook group for support for anyone that's going through the journey. You can always ask me questions in the group anytime.
That's awesome. Really cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll link all your informations down below. Is there anything, just let me check because I think we pretty much covered the questions. Is there anything that you would like to say now? Any
Um,
message you would like to give?
the message I like to give. Um, I just like to inspire others to know that no matter how difficult life is or whatever you're facing, there's always a solution. Don't ever give up. And the self healing process and journey is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to yourself. And that's when you find freedom and joy and love. If I had given up when I was 20, I never would have had my dog, the love of my life. I wouldn't have the family connection that I have now. I wouldn't have been able to travel so many places and discover that there's a whole new world awaiting me. There's so much to discover in this world, and you don't have to suffer through it.
I love it. I love that we're closing with this wonderful message of hope from Zia.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Oh, I'm actually like
good.
myself. Like, oh, yeah.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
it's an amazing and very important message to give. And I want to thank you for coming on today for doing this wonderful interview. And
Yeah.
go check out Sia and her healing courses. Check out the tarot readings. She also goes live on Instagram. I don't know if you still do this, but that's kind of cool to check in and to drop in and to see her do her thing live. That's really cool. So on Instagram at the Violet Crow, but all the links down below. Please go check her out.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. It was such a fun conversation, and I look forward to seeing, people's responses in the comments and what they resonated with. And I really just hope everyone keeps growing and connecting. And I mean, the thing I've learned too, I used to be an animal rescuer, and I used to really focus a lot of my attentions there, but I learned that hurt people hurt people. So now my goal is really to help heal people. And the more people that are on the healing journey, the better our world is going to be. And also I'm just all the things, like just really connect to nature and to Mother Earth, because there's so much healing and support that she provides. You know, even the trees come and help your frequency. Go sit under a tree for a half hour. I guarantee you, you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
Nature helps heal you and nature provides. So respect the planet, respect the earth and animals.
Exactly. And that's a wrap. How cool. Exactly. Thank you so much for your message. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more from you on your own personal journey. And yeah, so good to have you. Thank you, Sia.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, this was Sia with the Violet Crow Tarot. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. And yeah, we're sending so much love, light, and shadow to you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.